going on, Jets fans? Welcome on into the Jets Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we're going to be diving into the winners and losers from the Jets-Eagles Week 3 matchup. Came down to the buzzer. Jets couldn't tie it up and have that game end in a tie. But, hey, preseason football is over with. And even though I'm a football sicko, I'm a diehard. I love watching all the football I can. Nothing beats regular season ball. And we're going to have you guys covered with everything you need to know with the regular season just around the corner. Cut down day this Tuesday. We'll have video immediately once the Jets come out with their final 53-man roster. Injury reports throughout the week, this whole season, preview videos, trade rumors around the deadline, short form content, live shows, watch parties. We will do it all here on YouTube. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button today. Help us reach 9,000 subs on YouTube. Now, the biggest winner from the Week 3 game, I think by far, is rookie, fourth-round pick, safety out of Alabama, Malachi Moore. He just looked great today, and he filled up the stat sheet. 4 tackles, a PBU, an interception. He was just all over the place for this Jets defense, and obviously with the Jets safety room, having some major question marks there. Like, we're all assuming Cisco will be a solid starter in the NFL, but he even showed some disappointment in a couple plays during the preseason, and Tony Adams, still a big question mark there. We're really banking on probably Malachi Moore at some point in the season being a big-time contributor to this defense, and I'm sure Glenn's looking at his performance tonight, and he's probably saying to himself, how can we keep this guy off the football field, especially if Tony Adams has a bad game here or there, even Andre Cisco. Like, clearly they like this guy more. He's a versatile player. He can play free safety, box safety. You can drop him on the line of scrimmage. Like, you can put him anywhere on the football field. And today he was just being a playmaker. And also he just looks sweet rocking that 27 jersey. So hopefully he can continue the build on what he showed tonight. But I think by far he's my biggest winner from this Week 3 matchup. And another guy who's been balling out this entire preseason, I think if I had to say the biggest winner of the entire preseason, like all 3 games, training camp for the New York Jets, it might have to be Quentin Skinner. Big body guy. He's a great 50-50 catch guy. And, today just producing yet again with some terrible quarterback play, I must say. Brady Cook, Adrian Martinez, not their best stuff tonight. But Quentin Skinner, huge catch radius, gave those guys, at least a solid look to complete some passes. Had 3 receptions, 40 yards, 13.3 yards per catch. So Quentin Skinner really impressed me tonight. I think he's a lock to make the team. I would be stunned if the Jets don't keep him on the 53-man roster, because if you try to play that game, send him to the practice squad, I guarantee you another team would poach him. But I think it's about 99.9% chance that Skinner makes final 53. And I also think another wide receiver has a chance to be on there. Brandon Smith. Talking about another big body guy. Brandon Smith is just that 6'2", 225 pounds. And, he can really dominate the middle of the field. He can almost play some makeshift tight end for you, but he can take some hits. Like, the amount of times we've seen this preseason, he'll catch one over the middle of the field. Safety will be trying to crack down on him. He'll just eat that. And today, very productive as well. 3 receptions, 42 yards, had an average of 14 yards a catch. And, I think this wide receiver room, I think you're probably keeping 6 guys. Tyler Johnson, Josh Reynolds, Garrett Wilson, Arian Smith. I think it's going to be Skinner and Brandon Smith to close it out. So shout out to Brandon Smith, man. Really impressed. And, he's also the definition of a guy who had to go earn his spot on the 53 if he does make it when it's all said and done. So nothing but love for him. And then also got to give love to the UDFA, Jamal Pritchett. Now, unfortunately, he showed some flashes tonight, but I don't know if he did enough to make the 53-man roster. Now, if the Jets want to keep him as a kick and punt returner, then yeah, maybe he's got an outside chance. The Jets just keep 7 wide receivers, but again, that is very rare in the NFL for a team to keep 7. But he showed some pop tonight. 4 receptions, 54 yards, 13.5 yards per catch there. So, there's clearly like some juice when he has the football in his hands. Like, he's not it's not like you saw it in college and it doesn't translate to the NFL. Like, the speed is there, the athleticism is there. I wish he would have shown a little more as a kicker punt returner. Maybe that would have solidified his spot on the 53-man roster. But he's definitely a bubble guy. When it gets dropped out this Tuesday, he's going to be a name I'll be looking for right away. And, I got to give more love to another UDFA out of Clemson here. Peyton Page, defensive tackle. Now, I do think with the Jets trading for 2 defensive tackles, he's probably not going to end up making the team. But I think he, just impressed the coaches and the fans tonight. Ended up having a sack. Quarterback hit, TFL, 2 tackles. He just has a really high motor, and he was kind of building off what he was showing throughout training camp because this coaching staff was clearly raving about this guy. He was trying to go out there and earn it, and I think it's just kind of like the harsh reality of the NFL. Like, cut down day is so tough for a lot of these guys because you bust your ass the entire preseason. You bust your ass all of, training camp. And, I'm sure Peyton Page is like, all right, I had a sack. I had a TFL tonight. Is that enough? We'll find out. I don't think it is with the Jets making 2 moves for 2 new defensive tackles, but still want to give him some love. Played some good football tonight for the Jets. But I'll ask you guys this. Who is the biggest winner from week 3 of the preseason? I think it's Malachi Moore. Got some big expectations for him this upcoming season, but you guys let me know. Who is your biggest winner from week 3 of the preseason? Now, we'll get into some losers here in a second, but today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, and preseason football is underway, and college football is here. So don't miss out on any of the action this season at PrizePicks. Now, if you guys download the app today and plug in that promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks is simple to play. All you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. PrizePicks is also the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. PrizePicks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. And speaking about week 1 of the football season, they got a deal for you guys. For 1 Dak Prescott passing yard, we'll get you 1 free win on PrizePicks. So make sure you guys include this in all of your lineups. Take advantage of it, and make sure you guys take advantage of the deal by downloading the PrizePicks app and plugging in that promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. A massive shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's edition of the Jets Report. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, let's talk about some losers here. Honestly, I think the 3 losers are pretty obvious. And the biggest loser of the entire offseason, Malachi Corley. There was a story that came out today. This has nothing to do with his on-the-field play. But I think it speaks to his lack of self-awareness. When Davante Adams came to the New York Jets, he obviously wanted number 17 from Malachi Corley. Apparently, Davante Adams offered him $20,000. And what did Malachi Corley respond with? He said, I want $120,000. Now, some people might be saying, oh, that's no big deal, yada, yada, yada. This is a future Hall of Famer in Davante Adams. And Malachi Corley just showing no self-awareness whatsoever. And I just think that kind of speaks to just his ego or just something going on with him where, yes, he's clearly a very talented guy out there on the football field, but Aaron Glenn's probably got a no-nonsense policy for guys like that, and he's just not an Aaron Glenn guy at all. Like, honestly, if I had to say what's the opposite of an Aaron Glenn guy, it would be a guy like Malachi Corley where they think they're way more talented than they are. They don't really do the little things, and they're just a head case in the locker room. That's who Corley is. So I would be stunned if he's on the 53-man roster. I honestly think there's no chance whatsoever. You know what's probably going to happen? We'll probably see him week 1. I bet you he gets cut, signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we'll probably see him rolling into MetLife week 1 with Aaron Rodgers and crew. But another loser today, Brady Cook, the backup quarterback position. Thank God Tyrod's going to be healthy week 1 just in case anything happened to Justin Fields, because even though Brady Cook showed flashes in the first preseason game, he's been pretty poor besides that. His interception today was absolutely terrible. Trying to hit Corley on an out route, and he threw it 3-4 yards behind him. It was a duck. It looked like he got shot out of midair. It was just a terrible throw. I didn't like him at Mizzou. I was shocked he even got signed by a team. Now, he did show some pop in the first couple of preseason games, but these guys will probably both be on the practice squad. Brady Cook and Adrian Martinez, even though Adrian Martinez might have an outside chance to make the roster, but Brady Cook for sure will be the practice squad quarterback. And, I don't think Adrian Martinez helped himself too much tonight. He wasn't terrible by any means, but he just didn't play his best. And, he had that little run where it was like the first half of the Giants game before he threw that interception. I was like, Adrian Martinez is kind of hooping. He's playing some good ball, but after that, it's been, pretty ugly. I mean, 7 of 14 86 yards and a interception tonight. Like, that's just poor play from the backup quarterback spot. So I will say good news on that position. Aaron Glenn said Tyrod Taylor will be ready to go for week 1. So just in case anything happens to Fields, that's the difference between Tyrod and Adrian Martinez is significant. So that's good news there. But yeah, I had to put Corley and both the backup quarterbacks as losers. They just didn't play good football today against the Eagles. Now, if you guys made it to the end of today's show, appreciate you guys watching. Hit me with the Go Jets down below in the comment section. What videos this entire weekend? I'll see you entire next week. So make sure you guys also hit that subscribe button. We'll be making at-home videos, short-form content, the whole 9. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Hit that sub button. See you guys next time. Go Jets.